Param Vijayate Śrī Krishna Sankirtanam. Total World Victory of Hare Krishna. Welcome to another Bhagavad Gita class. Today, usually it's Solar Sundays, but it's Solar Monday. Today I'm doing Bhagavad Gita 262. Let's get straight into it. Okay. Whew. Reading Sanskrit. Dhyāyato viṣayān puṁsaḥ saṅgas teṣūpajāyate saṅgāt sañjāyate kāmaḥ krodho bhijāyate. I think it's pretty good. Dhyayataḥ while contemplating viṣayān sense objects, puṁsaḥ of the person, saṅgāt attachment, teṣu in the sense objects, upajāyate develops, saṅgāt attachment, sañjāyate develops. Kāmaḥ desire, kāmāt for desire, krodhaḥ anger, abhijāyate becomes manifest. Translation: while contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger arises. One who is not in Krishna consciousness is subjected to material desires while contemplating the objects of senses. The senses require real engagements, and if they are not engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, they will certainly seek engagement in the service of materialism. In the material world, everyone, including Lord Śiva and Lord Brahmā, to say nothing of the other demigods in the heavenly planets, is subjected to the influence of sense objects. And the only method to get out of the puzzle of material existence is to become Krishna conscious. Lord Śiva was deep in meditation, but when Prahlad agitated him for sense pleasure, he agreed to the proposal, and as a result, Kārtikeya was born. When Haridāsa Ṭhākur was a young devotee of the Lord, he was simply allured by the incarnation of Māyā Devī, but Haridāsa easily passed the test because of his unalloyed devotion to the Lord. Unalloyed is an unusual word. Yeah, this means without pull it up again. Can't see it, but searched it up. Of metal not alloyed, pure, complete and unreserved. Yeah, he passed the test because of his unalloyed devotion to Lord Kṛṣṇa. As illustrated in the above-mentioned verse of the Śrī Yāmunācārya, a sincere devotee of the Lord shuns all material sense enjoyment due to his higher taste for spiritual enjoyment in the association of the Lord. That is the secret success. One who is not, therefore, in Krishna consciousness, however powerful he may be in controlling the senses by artificial repression, is sure ultimately to fail, for the slightest thought of sense pleasure will agitate him to gratify his desires. Okay. It's pretty cool purport. Good verse. Looking at my bad. Looking at the differences, there's not that many. Desires while contemplating the object of senses, desires while contemplating the object of these senses. I don't think that changes the meaning. Senses, object of these senses. I would find object of these senses to be more legible than object of senses. Sort of just reads a little bit weird. Of senses, yeah. And then Haridāsa Ṭhākur to Haridāsa Ṭhākura. I think I'm not sure. Let's see what it says in here. Where is that? It's a bit down. Ṭhākur with an R. I'm sure it's usually spelled with an A. I think this was the change that was in there before. How do you spell Haridāsa Ṭhākur?
Haridāsa.
Okay.
Well, maybe not the A on
In the original edition, it has the R, and the later edition, it has the A. And then they've decapitalized Devī because they've added they've made it one word. So instead of Māyā Devī being two words, it's Māyā Devī with the capital M, one word. And that's it. That's it for the changes. Not much has been changed, mainly sort of spelling and grammar. Of a person. Yeah, it's not really much there. Talking about the actual purports, basically the gist of the purport, from my understanding, is that there's the senses and the material desires, and most people are looking for, not most people, everything is attracted by, or everything is afflicted by sense enjoyment. And it says, even, where does it say that? Including Lord Śiva and Lord Brahmā. Everything is subjugated to the influence of sense objects. Yeah, so it's saying that, everything is influenced and inflicted by sense, or the pursuit of sense gratification. And the only way out of it is service and devotion to the Lord. It says Haridāsa Ṭhākur was allured by the incarnation of Māyā Devī, but he easily, I like the word says easily, he easily passed it because of his devotion, unalloyed devotion to Lord Kṛṣṇa. So that's yeah, that's sort of the answer to the question. And in the translation, it says, when contemplating the object of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment, lust develops, and from lust, anger arises. Yeah. not contemplating the object of the senses, and just being a servant of the Lord is the way to, not be afflicted by the material sort of existence. Yeah. And it says, however powerful he may be in controlling the senses by artificial repression, is sure ultimately to fail. Yeah, some people outside of the Krishna conscious sort of realm would be able to, control their senses through artificial repression, living out in the middle of nowhere, not in the middle of nowhere, but living simply, doing all that sort of stuff, trying to renounce materialism, but eventually, well, it says right there, ultimately is sure to fail, for the slightest thought of sense pleasure will agitate him to gratify his desires. So they'll probably, predictably, have the thought of, I'm so modest and I do all this sort of stuff, I deserve to have a little treat. And so they'll go off and do whatever to satisfy their senses, whether it be like go out partying, go drinking, do that sort of stuff, anything to satisfy their senses, because they've been artificially repressing it, which isn't fully going to get rid of it. It says in the purports. Oh, does it say in the purport? The only method to get out the puzzle of material existence is to become Krishna conscious. So yeah, it implicitly says that to get out of it, you need to become Krishna conscious. There you go. Easy. Now, thinking about a contemporary application, I sort of already gave one. Yeah. Krishna consciousness is the answer to materialism. Anything else is ultimately going to fail. Might not be super obvious, but there'll be the cracks forming, maybe after 20 or 30 years of artificial repression of the senses. You might wonder, like, why am I actually doing this? There might be a drive and a real hard passion for it in the beginning, but after a while it'd be like, why am I doing this? Like there's no really backing, or the backing reason is not very strong. While in Krishna consciousness, there'll be pretty strong backing, with your devotional service to Krishna and being in Krishna consciousness. Yeah, that's sort of the contemplative application. What else? Yeah, it really is. And there's and there might be some people who think that, being in the having sense desire is like horrible. Like, why do I have sense desire? Like, if I was a pure devotee, I wouldn't have any sense desire. It says even Lord Śiva and Lord Brahmā say nothing of the other demigods is subjected to the influence of sense objects. So I'm not sure if that means that they have sense desire themselves, but they are still subjected to the influence of sense objects. So, you could infer that it is, they have their own sense desire. And so there's nothing wrong with having sense desire. It is the ultimate goal to not have sense desire, and not be allured by the incarnation of Māyā Devī, as Haridāsa Ṭhākur was. And so it gives us a clear pathway to, not be influenced by the sense objects and not be influenced by the sense desire, is to be in the service, unalloyed devotion to Lord Kṛṣṇa. Yeah, being in the service of Lord Kṛṣṇa and having that devotion there. So yeah. Yeah, it's really it. Nice and succinct purport. It's got its clear motive and what it wants to relay. So going back to the actual Sanskrit to end us off, a little bit of a shorter one. Dhyāyato viṣayān puṁsaḥ saṅgas teṣūpajāyate saṅgāt sañjāyate kāmaḥ kāmāt krodho bhijāyate. While contemplating the object of the senses, a person develops attachment for them, and from such attachment lust develops, and from lust anger rises. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like any of the content that we do, share and tag your friends, so we can get more people involved. And yeah, I will be back again sometime this week to do some more class. And yeah, Brahmā-to Śrī Kṛṣṇa Saṅkirtanam, total world victory of Hare Krishna. Have a good morning, good evening, and good night for the people who are watching afterwards. And yeah, see you next time. Haribol.